Like trucks, these UTVs can be customized beyond your imagination. There are also some common problems that need to be addressed. We'll show you both today on Truck U. Check this baby out, man. Look at that.
It's like you're working out.
I like that. That's
it's a little
nice.
Uncomfortable, you know?
Hey, welcome to Truck U. Today we have got some serious eye candy in the shop. You know, right here we've got a 2010 800 Razor from Polaris. This is a cool ride, but you know what? We also got the Mac Daddy in the shop. This is the XP1K, a 2014 model. And I'm going to go on record as saying, you know what? When the day is done, it's time to have some fun. I got dibs on this baby.
We'll talk about that, big guy, all right? Maybe some negotiation is at hand.
No, this is mine.
So let's think about what we've got out here. The side-by-side market a couple of years ago, you're talking about all utilitarian, right? I mean, the Yamaha Rhinos, you had the Mules, even the Polaris Rangers. These things were used on the farm. People worked with them with the dump beds and this, that, the other. But ideally, over time, guys are like, man, these would be so much more fun if we could jump them, and they went a little bit faster. Well, that's how this whole thing evolved. You're talking about a market that went in 2 years from $1 million to $1 billion, that sport utility market. And now that's what created all this, man. And I love these things. It's awesome.
Well, I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, this is a highly sophisticated vehicle. I mean, you can see what the travel and the suspension is, the styling on it. Believe it or not, though, there is still some room for improvements in terms of accessories and a few critical things that I think this thing needs to make it, well, Matt Steele worthy, would I say?
I like the way you think.
Is that fair?
That's what we're going to do today.
All right.
Make it Matt Steele worthy. One of the best things as far as advancements goes over this model versus that one is the fact that you can get to the engine a lot easier. Look at this. Boom, right? We're not pulling the whole back half of the roll cage off and the whole bed and all that. We've got access, baby. You
know, I think the older model was like 37 screws or something just to be able to get access to things. So now that you can access it, you can work on it, we can do a couple upgrades. Now, Matt took a few minutes and got the 3 screws out of the way so we can take a look at the clutch assembly, because that's one area that needs an upgrade. The whole idea is we need to eliminate heat. So what you're looking at right now at the clutch, you've got the drive clutch and the driven clutch. Now, this is a CVT transmission, so you've got one engaging while the other is disengaging, and the rate at which they do it, well, is all determined on how hard you're driving it. You drive it hard, you're going to build a lot of heat, and heat is not your friend when you're talking about belts. The more heat you got, the more damage you're going to have, and the harder it is to keep that thing together.
Ideally, inside there, you want to stay close to about 160 degrees, because as you start putting a load on that, you get up to 180 or up over 200. In extreme cases, you see it up to 220. That's melting belts. It's breaking belts, and you can be 50 miles away from the home. Now, you're stuck out in the middle of the woods with a broken belt. That's bad.
Yeah, you find yourself in the middle of your own horror movie and a guy with a hockey mask and a chainsaw chasing you down out in the woods. That's not good.
No, and then the banjo music starts.
Yeah, not going to end well.
So ambient air comes in here, and it follows this tube around, and it's drawn into the clutch, right? And it circulates in there, and it comes out the top through this little piece that I just removed. Well, here's the deal, and here's our fix for that. This is the Max Air clutch cooling system that I got from EAS Off-Road. Actually, on the inside of this is a fan, and we'll hook that up, an electric fan. We've got greater airflow, which means cooler temperatures. We're talking about going from about 160 CFM to almost 240. So again, higher airflow, cooler temperatures, that's the deal. And this installs in about 15 to 20 minutes.
You're fueling up every week, if not every day, based on your driving habits. The quality of today's ultra-low sulfur fuels can vary significantly from station to station. Diesel is the hot dog of fuels. There's a lot of junk in them that can foul up your fuel system. The scientists at the LSI Institute, the brains behind all the hot-shot secret products, have created an everyday diesel treatment to battle the hot dog fuel problem. 1 ounce of everyday diesel treatment boosts cetane up to 7 points, neutralizes acid, removes moisture, and makes sure your fuel delivers premium performance. It costs about 4 cents a gallon to treat, but you're going to save close to 8 cents a gallon in overall miles per gallon. Everyday diesel treatment. It'll keep your fuel system running great all year long and pay for itself. This tip is brought to you by Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
In this week's Federated Tech Talk, we're going to discuss one of the issues with the Ford 6.0 Power Stroke diesel engine and the fuel injection control module. Now, the FICM regulates fuel flow through the vehicle's injection pump and fuel injectors. Over time, the rapid heating and cooling from normal operation takes its toll on the critical circuitry of the module's power board. Now, in the past, when the power board failed, the only option was to buy a complete FICM assembly or a half-shell kit. Not anymore. The engineers at SMP Advanced Electronics Manufacturing Facility, they've tackled this critical system issue by redesigning the board from the ground up with significant performance upgrades. The result is a TechSmart FICM power board that stands up to the toughest underhood conditions. This TechSmart solution ensures the system failure is fixed right the first time, with no programming necessary, and is designed and manufactured right here in the USA.
Welcome back to Truck U. So during the break, we were getting ready to install this snorkel kit that we got from EAS Off-Road. Now, Bruno took the liberty of really getting ahead of things, man. Nice job on the holes that you cut out, right?
Oh, thanks, man. You know, we had to cut out 3.5-inch holes, and most people would probably just use a hole saw, but I figured, you know what, it's not quite challenging, so I took a razor blade, free-handed it, and I think they came out pretty good.
Oh, it came out fantastic. And then on the back side of this clutch cooling system up on the top side there, we also plumbed that and came back around. So that's going to hook up into here when we start putting everything together, because the whole snorkel system itself is just a bunch of pieces and parts, and you put it together like a Lego set, right? But we didn't figure that was riveting television. We wanted to get to the payoff. But before that, look, here I pulled this piece off. You see in here, you see all, there's a half a leaf there, all kinds of dirt and debris. That was all getting into that intake right there. So the same thing was happening on the intake side, on the air intake.
You know, as you can see right here, if I run my finger through it, on that side it's not so critical, but there's all kinds of sand and dirt and debris sitting right here. And this is sitting at a level, if you see it here, it's going into that engine. The last thing you want is dirt and debris getting in the engine and tearing things up. So with this snorkel kit, what we're doing is we're getting a couple benefits, actually. You're getting cleaner, less turbulent air being sucked in up here, which means you get better performance, but it's also sitting at the inlet height where you're not sitting in all this dirt and debris, so you're not going to get this stuff going into your engine. Also, you know what? It makes it matte steel worthy because it allows you to have a lot more fun when you move the inlets up here.
Yeah, with these inlets up here, now we can drive in some deeper water and have a little bit of a party in this thing, right? But the other thing to keep in mind is there are breathers coming off the rear and the front differentials, and they kind of snake up. One goes behind the seat, and the other one goes up kind of in the front, up in front of that passenger seat. If you don't cap those off, potentially if you get in too deep of water, water can trickle back down there and get into your differentials. You don't want that. But you don't want to do a rigid cap on it either, because that can cause other problems.
So the solution are these bellows right here. Now these will replace the vents. Now the whole idea is you want to make sure that no dirt and debris gets in, but you need to have some expansion and contraction when you go through different pressure changes in terms of altitude and barometric pressure. So the system will quote unquote stay vented, but yet it won't let any dirt or debris inside. Well, to this point, our focus has been on getting more longevity and performance out of our drivetrain, but now that we got the snorkel system done, we can switch our focus to getting a little bit more traction thanks to the guys at Colorado Components. We got all new wheels and tires, which are really going to make the look of this thing a whole lot better.
They look fantastic. But take a look at the stock tire, right? 29 inches tall. It definitely gets the job done. There's nothing wrong with it, but we want to go to the next level. So we take this. All right, this one is gone, and this one's coming in. Now, what's the difference, you ask? Well, take a look at that. It's 30 inches tall, and you might say, well, it's only an inch. How big of a deal is that? But look at the aggressive tread pattern that we've got now. So it's a much more aggressive tire. This thing looks awesome. And you know what, Bruno, here's the deal. If we wanted to take it up to the next level at a 32, then we've got to get into that clutch. Right. And that just goes above and beyond what we want to do today, right?
Yeah, it makes it a much more complicated build. The whole idea, too, is the fact that we're going with a bigger wheel. So the bigger wheel diameter is going from 14 to 16. So we're going to be able to get more tire, less rubber, which means less rotating weight and more traction, which is a win-win all the way around.
When Paul found this 1971 Chevy, it had been sitting under a collapsed shed for 8 years, so he knew this was going to be a big project. So he gave the owner $500, and he took it home to turn it into the family project to end all family projects. With the help of his 2 sons and his wife, Paul finished this project in about a year, and he was able to turn it from a rusted-out truck into a working showpiece. Learn more about Paul's 71 Chevy or share your own truck journey at lmctrucklife.com. I'll tell you what, Paul had his hands full with that 1971 Chevrolet, but he got the job done and he did a ton of work to it. So today we've got an 86 Chevy in here, right, for the next couple of minutes. You know, we don't have as much work to do as he did, but we've got a little bit to do up here in the front.
Well, we don't have the same amount of time that he had on that, but you know, this truck doesn't need a whole lot because if you look at it at first glance, the paint looks good, everything about it looks good, except for the front. It has no pop, it has no life. So the way we're gonna fix that is putting on the new front end dress-up kit from the guys at LMC Truck. The whole idea here is to give it a little bit of, you know, a wow factor up front, and what's nice is it's one click or one SKU number and you've got everything you need to completely rearrange and bring life to the front of your truck. Now let's say you're gonna do it piece by piece. You might get the front grille, you put it on and you realize, oh man, I should have got that trim to go with it. This way you got everything you need in one kit.
We've actually done that before, not too long ago. I remember that now that you bring it up, but like you said, it's nice, man. I mean, the bezels, the lights, the wires, everything we need, one kit, and it's ready. So all we have to do now is start ripping this off, right?
Yeah,
start with
the
this, huh?
bumper.
What do you think? There we go. So the kit Bruno was talking about is basically everything that is surrounded by the main grille piece right there. The bumper is an additional piece that we opted to go with because, one, it looks brand new, it's all polished and pretty. Two, it's got these built-in lights, and those lights are gonna match up nicely with the ones that are in this kit, so it's all gonna look great when we're done. So the operation is nearly complete, and at this point it's fun to take a look at a couple befores and afters, right? So we'll start with the lights up here. We got the before and after. That's much better. Look at this one. Boom, before and after. I much prefer that. Now, we can do a before and after on these bezels too. You take a look at this before and after, and if you match them up here, look at that. That's how it was, and this is where we're going. That's gonna look a lot better, and don't forget to take these clips out of the top. That's gonna make that screw set in there. So what do you think, B? Look at that.
Man, I think it looks much better.
You like shiny things, right?
I do like shiny things, especially up front, man. You gotta have a little pow.
You got it.
You know, so with that being our motivation right here, we're gonna do is pop out this old grill and put in the new.
You got that, dude, or you need a hand? Yeah?
Got it all the way out, right?
Don't mess up my bezel.
I won't mess it up. There we go. So that one comes off, and the new one just bolts right in place. I might need a hand here. It's kind of a tight fit if I remember correctly. Don't want to scratch anything up. What do you think, man? Looks good, huh?
I think it looks great. I love it.
Smudged it right there.
I did. I'll probably, here, look, that's just to get you mad. All right, here's the deal. Look, we've got brand new lights and more of them. We kind of have more everything that's good up on the front end of this truck now. And the cool thing is it was easy to do. It didn't even take that much time, so.
Yeah, it's got that whole show-stopping look up front, which this thing desperately needed. But you know what? How about stopping? Check these out, buddy. Some brand new LED taillights these guys sent over as well. What's nice about these things, man, easy conversion over from the standard bulb to the LEDs. I say we pop these things on. It'll take just a few minutes.
So for clarification, though, that wasn't part of the front end kit, right?
Well, no, but it'll kind of tie everything together.
All right, I was getting
bonus
confused.
package.
I was getting confused. Okay, so it ties it all together. It's easy and it looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking out loud here. Why don't we just let that guy do it, right?
That's genius. I love it.
We're not trying to create more work for ourselves.
No, you know what? We'll box these things up, a little parting gift.
I love it. I love it. Looks good.
This tip is brought to you by LMC Truck. Restore, maintain, and customize your truck with parts and accessories from LMC Truck.
This is the slide bar radio from Custom Auto Sound. You know, the whole idea with Custom Auto Sound, because we work with them quite a bit, is to have all of the modern conveniences of a brand new stereo system, but keep that specific vehicle look. So if it's a 65 or a 66, you want it to look just like that. So we got an old Mustang radio here and an old Chevy pickup radio right here.
Now the slide bar comes into play on the front, which is pretty cool. You go from analog to digital just by sliding that over. Now in digital mode, you've got 7 different color displays. You've got all the bells and features and whistles you would ever want. You know, you've got the RDS where it's giving you artist and song title right there on the front of the radio. It's got a USB port so you can hook to all your mobile devices, cell phones, CD changer, 25 different presets, everything you would want in a direct fit replacement for your classic vehicle.
Bruno, check this out. This is the NOCO Genius Boost, and this is a great way to jumpstart a vehicle in seconds, but it does so much more than that in this little tiny package, man.
You know, it is so compact and it puts out a lot of power. You know, one charge will last a year. It'll put out 20 different jump starts on your vehicle, 400 amps of current. It's got reverse polarity protection so you can't mess up. It's also got a flashlight on either side of it, where it's got dual lights coming out with 7 different modes. It's got emergency modes, and it can charge your USB devices. It's something that everybody should have and store in their glove box.
And it's easy to maintain too, because it charges via USB. So there's the level meter right there, and you can keep an eye on it. I mean, it's the perfect thing to have for any emergency situation in your car, your truck, or your boat. And in fact, dude, I think I'm going to steal this one. That one's got my name all over it.
I knew you were fired up about it.
This is the stable load suspension upgrade from Torque Lift International, and it is specifically designed to help you when you're hauling heavy loads on your truck. You mount this right there in your rear leaf spring pack, right? And then you know the problems when you're hauling something heavy. You get the body roll or the suspension's bottomed out. It just doesn't handle as good as it should. Well, this solves all those problems.
All you do is you simply pull out the pin once you've got it mounted, and you engage your helper spring. What that does is it stiffens up that suspension again, levels the truck back out, and makes it safer to haul down the road, because you're not going to have that body roll. You're not going to have problems stopping. When the thing is, when you're done hauling, all you do is you simply disengage it, you're back to your factory suspension.
And you know what's good about that is it keeps that whole rear end from dipping down too. So when you're driving down the road and you're high beaming everybody, and they're all coming at you and they're flipping you with theirs, you know, you don't have any of those issues either.
Let's go inside the Duplicolor garage. Duplicolor, yes you can, in your garage.
So we've got this little small block sitting here at the shop, and we've got some plans for this down the road inside of a project vehicle. But before we do that, we've got to dress this thing up and make it look better. We can do that with an entire line of products that we have from VHT. We've got engine enamels, we've got different colors. That's going to look awesome when it's done. But to get to the next step, we've got a little prep work to do. So, time to go to work. You can tell from all the dust that this thing had been sitting in the back corner for quite a while. So the first thing I did was I blew all that dust out. Then I took the wire brush to it just to kind of knock off anything that was loose, maybe any loose rust. We want to get that out of the way. Simultaneously, we got these valve covers ready to go too. So we scuffed them, we hit them with the Duplicolor prep spray, and these babies are ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay on the VHT Wrinkle Plus. And when you apply this, you want to do it in 3 heavy coats. The first coat, I'm going to go this way. Second coat, I'll come this way, and the third one, just do that crosshatch right like that. Keep in mind, whenever you're doing a project like this with cans like these, you want to make sure you do it in a well-ventilated area. Now we're ready to lay on some primer, and we're going to do that with 2 light coats followed by a medium coat. And the primer is going to do a couple of different things. First of all, it's all about corrosion resistance. And secondly, when we lay on that red, that finished coat is going to be nice and uniform. That's what it's all about. And keep in mind, this is VHT paint. Very high temperature, right? It's going to withstand temperatures up to 550 degrees Fahrenheit. Once that paint dries, we can lay on the clear coat, and this baby's going to look awesome. VHT has an entire line of products that are specifically designed for your very high temperature applications. We saw that today, you know, working on this engine. We saw the enamels and the primers and the paints, and those look great. We also did the Wrinkle Plus right here on these valve covers. Fantastic, that looks awesome. Now let's say you want to paint your exhaust or something that's going to get really hot, you know, the manifolds, the headers, whatever. You can do that with the flame proof, because that will hold up to temperatures up to 2,000 degrees, which is kind of ridiculous, but still cool at the same time. So for more information about any of the VHT line of products, be sure to check out their website.
Wow, this thing's got a lot of texture on it. You've been getting a little crazy with that Wrinkle Plus?
No, but that is on the list after a couple more things, right?
No, I'm not mad at it, though. It looks good.
No, it does look good. Now, first thing up on that list that I was talking about are these new doors. All right, you take a look at this little kind of half door on here and this full door that we're going to, but why would we want to do that? Well, there's a couple different reasons.
Well, it's kind of obvious if you look at it for me. You know, you've got a big opening right here where a lot of extremities can fall right through. I mean, check this out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know, that's not going to be good, especially if you're out there and you're having some fun with this thing like you want to. You know, you're going to get rocks thrown at you, tree branches, all kinds of stuff up in here, and you don't want it hitting you here.
Now, you've got these aggressive tires. You know, you're playing in some deep mud or somebody turns and roosts you. I mean, you're getting a lap full at that point, right? And that's not a good lap full to have.
No, that's not the kind of lap full we're looking for.
Nope.
You know, the thing is, for a few $100, you can get some plastic inserts right here, but for a little bit more, you can go with a full metal door, so this is really the only option worthwhile.
All right, let me get this seat out of here, dude. We'll start moving.
I'll start taking these out.
No.
When I walked in this morning and saw this bad boy, I thought this thing was just awesome. But you know what? Now it is totally legit.
Hey, man, our guys over at EAS Off-Road hooked us up with that clutch cooling system, the snorkel kit, the wheels and tires, the doors.
Yeah.
I would say this has been a really good day.
Really good day. You know, but I have one question for you. What is that thing sitting right there?
They have big mosquitoes down here, dude. You know? That's the drone, right?
Oh, yeah. Nice. You know, I've never seen one up close before.
Everybody sees drone footage, but nobody ever sees the drone.
You know, we don't have any drone footage, so I say we take that thing with us.
That ends today, dude. Let's take everything and get out of here.
All right,
okay?
do it. Fire it up.
You might want to hang on.